Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all. And in this video, we're going to be taking our very first look at the brand new North Carolina region, which is currently available on the public test server if you own SnowRunner through the Epic Games Store on PC. Now, let's go ahead and dive right into what the new North Carolina region is, what it looks like, the vehicle we're going to be driving, and of course, many more things along the way. So, right off the bat, the vehicle we're going to be driving today is actually available on mod.io publicly via the link in the description box down below if you want to check it out. And it should also be available in a wide variety of consoles, or rather, I should say, on a wide variety of consoles. Regardless, I definitely noticed some new visual cues here on the first map in the new North Carolina region. Now, I want to hear from y'all in the comments down below because I'm not sure if sort of the visual elements that I'm seeing are new or if they were just very lightly used on other maps and I'm only just now seeing them in a more prevalent way. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what your opinions on that actually are. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment or two because the models that they're using for some of the bushes and leaves on this map, I know that that's a very specific thing to kind of geek out about. And I'm sure also there are probably people out there in the comments that are probably like, bushes? Why are you specifically talking about which bushes may or may not be new? Although, I don't know. Those are the ones right there on the right. Let me know if you've seen those on other maps or if I'm just like, maybe I just never saw them. Although, I don't know. They looked new to me. But again, maybe, who knows? Maybe they have been around for a while and honestly, I could just not be aware of it. Who knows? Now, right off the bat, in terms of the sort of gameplay dynamic or the overall gameplay dynamic of this first map, it's very marshy, swampy, muddy, and even in a truck like this, you're going to be having to slow down quite a bit, especially in the early areas of the map. So if you're planning on leaving the garage in anything even halfway capable, I mean, you're going to need to plan ahead and bring something with tires that actually work well in the really deep stuff, not just standard loose uneven terrain, but like actual properly deep mud. Now, whether or not this actually does a good job of replicating real world North Carolina, I'm going to leave that up to y'all to decide for yourselves. Now, I will say that the terrain that we're looking at kind of looks a little bit more based around kind of almost like a mixture between central and eastern North Carolina. There doesn't really seem to be all that much in terms of the western side of the state, at least in the early stages of this map. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to explore some of the other maps to see if any of that changes or if there's more kind of geographical variety in this particular DLC. However, this first map in particular definitely gives off a little bit more of an eastern North Carolina vibe definitely more of an eastern vibe than a central or western one, because obviously I feel like if it was more central, you would have some more farm fields, and if it was western, it would just be mountains everywhere. But it definitely did a good job of bringing me into the experience and bringing me into the environment itself. I will say already I like this better than the Tennessee DLC. Even people that were from Tennessee didn't seem to really like that particular map and that particular setting. It didn't seem like people received the Tennessee DLC very well, aside from the people that did enjoy the racetrack. Although, I do feel like there was a large part of the community that did not like the racetrack and really didn't like any of the racing elements of Tennessee whatsoever. And there was actually a little bit of back and forth, almost, I wouldn't call it backlash over that DLC, but there was definitely back and forth over it. But again, that's going to be one of those where I will leave it up to y'all down in the comments below to make your own personal decisions on, because again, that's what it comes down to when you're choosing which DLCs to buy, which DLCs to skip. And of course, obviously, if you bought this particular season pass, you will be getting access to these maps and this region. However, I would imagine that a lot of the people that watch these videos, especially the people that watch the videos that are giving ahead of time information about the DLCs themselves, are probably not on the season pass and are more in the realm of trying to figure out whether or not they actually want to spend their money on that particular season of content. Also, of course, little disclaimer that I should have given around the beginning of the video, but if things sound or look just a tad different than they usually do, I am actually recording and editing on a slightly different setup at the moment, mainly because my primary work PC, my primary editing rig, basically decided to not function properly anymore due to what we think, at the moment anyway, what we think is a failure somewhere within the motherboard itself. So if it was something that was a little bit more simple to replace, like if it was a, I don't know, if it was a bad power supply and I could have thrown another one in, we could have fixed that a little bit quicker. However, diagnosing motherboard-specific issues within a PC is a little bit more tricky, so we're definitely going to be working hard to get that PC back up and running soon. But for now, I'm really, really glad that I have both my backup tower as well as my laptop. But all of that aside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let y'all actually enjoy the immersion of this gameplay of the new North Carolina region. And what I'm going to do is, as soon as I finish this section of commentary, I'm actually going to dial up the volume of the game audio so y'all can get an idea of the atmosphere and the environment within this region, as well as get a look at some of the new areas and environments. And I will pop in here and there to give my thoughts. Now, this area right here was actually really interesting and kind of neat because I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a driving school or like an autocross or some kind of miniature competition. But either way, really interesting and neat little addition to the map that I definitely had to try out before we went on. And of course, I hope y'all enjoyed this first look at gameplay of the brand new, or I should say, upcoming and work in progress, North Carolina region that will eventually become the full release of the North Carolina DLC for Season 12. But that's where I'm going to leave this video off, and I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later!